Hi guys, welcome to today's video, which is all about taking a return trip to the magical land of Pat McGrath Labs Special Shades. Today we have finally reached Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction. I know this is a favorite for many people, so today we're gonna swatch those special shades. I am gonna do a look very close to this as a part of this bronzy, glowy summer vibe that we're gonna create today. I am even gonna throw on some bronzer today. So if all of that sounds good to you, then let's get into swatching those special shades. Guys, I have to start off with the tragic news that any eyeshadow fan will understand, and that is the loss of a shade in this eyeshadow palette. The beautiful, deep eggplant shade in my palette shattered. Fortunately, we are not going to be without that shade for today's look because I have this little mini palette and it has that same shade right here. So I still have access to, the all-important purple shade. Let's do the swatching of those special shades. So those are the very special shades in Mothership 5. Those on the arm.
I found this on the web.
Why is Siri always interrupting me? Siri, I don't need you.
Okay, it was nice spending time with you.
She's so polite. Okay, back to swatches. Okay, so there are those swatches. Let's go ahead and get into building this eyeshadow look. Let me find the brushes here. And I am going to go boldly where I have gone many times, and that is starting with the purple shadow. I am going to lay that down in the outer corner. I am going to grab my Refer 28 for that, which is a little petite flat brush, and just picking some of that up. I do already have on foundation. I'm going to have to be careful today. And I do have to join a work call in a little bit. But we're going to get bronzy and glowy and summery and seductive, as the palette name suggests, right? All right, so I'm just swiping this into the outer corner. Sort of build that structure a little bit out here and hopefully increase the look of the size of my eyes. So I'm just bringing that over a bit. And do the same over here. Now that we've got that down, I want to continue to build out the structure a little bit, and I am going to grab a Refer 16, which is a nice big fluffy blending brush, and I am going to pick up this shade here. I don't want to add too much here. Really want the focus obviously to be on the special shades and creating that bronzy, glowy look. Of course, I'm working this really high above the crease, my natural crease, since I do have this hooding here. I'm going to blend that out just a little bit, sort of diffuse that. So I'm going to grab a clean Refer 27 And just blend this and run it up towards the brow bone a bit. Just to make sure we don't have any harsh lines. It is time for something bronzy. And if you're familiar with this palette, you know that by many people, this shade is considered a dud. I'm sort of curious if in the re-released version that doesn't contain the special shades, if maybe she fixed that shade, but we are gonna go in with this gold. For me, I am gonna just pick that up on my finger and tap that in. And I'm using the tip of my finger to sort of run that up into the crease just a bit. And I tapped over that purple, of course. The most important shade in this entire palette, just to, you know, spoil the suspense, is going to be this shade. But I kind of want to use more than one special shade here. Oof, gosh. I mean, okay, gosh, yeah, let's pick that up. I am gonna tap that in here. And I am already regretting this decision because I think the better move would have been to first lay down the Skin Show shade. So I'm just gonna kind of brush that off. Wow, that's doesn't want to do that. So yeah, you know, these little mishaps, that's what life's about. Okay, I am picking up the Skin Show shade. I'm assuming it's called Skin Show or has Skin Show in the name because that is what she used to name all of these. The reason you want to get this down first is so that you have a base, because obviously many of the special shades do not have a base to them, and I think we need a little bit of a brightening base in the inner corner. I'm going to bring this other side up to speed. I am going to deepen up that outer corner again just a bit. Hold, please. More gold. More cowbell. And I'm making a huge mess under my eyes. Really should have put on my Dew Skin Winged Forever eye masks just for some protection. But I'd already put on my foundation because I just wanted us to focus on eyes here. So we'll just have some cleanup on the back end. It's okay. Let's do a little bit of cleanup here so that I can see what I'm working with before I go in with what I think is the most special shade in just about any of Pat's Mothership palettes, okay? Let's get this cleaned up first. Because I'm distracted by all of the fantasy light glitter under my eyes. Okay, it is time for the final shadow in this look, and that is this shade here. I am going to swirl into that. So there it is. You can see it has that beautiful green shift. And I am simply going to just tap right in the center of the eyelid because we don't want to overdo it with that special shade. I mean, this is just supposed to be like a moment that you capture. I am intensifying that at the base just a bit. I want to add some brightening more brightening to the very inner corner. And I am gonna grab a teensy weensy brush. This is a 13 mini. Just wanna find something that has a smaller tip. And yeah, I am gonna go into this shade now. I'm gonna pick a little bit of that up and just see if I can dot that into the inner corner on a brush. Let's throw on some liner. I am going to use my Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liner. This is in the plummy shade. And I'm just gonna use this to sort of deepen up the lash line, along the lash line on the outer third. I've got to take my Endless Cacao pencil from Makeup Forever and run a little bit of that on the lower lash line, because otherwise, how can I find my lashes to apply mascara? I am going to go off camera to do a little bit more cleanup, apply mascara, and then we will come back to do bronzer, blush, and lipstick. So hang on. All right, guys, I am back and I am going to list all the products that I've used today down in the description box, including the mascara that I applied, the foundation and concealer that I touched up, and the powder that I used to set my face. So we are going to wrap up with some additional complexion products. Today, I am going to bronze up. See, it's so frightening that I choked. We are going to bronze up this very fair skin of mine using the Nude Honey Bronzer from Pat McGrath Labs. So let's get into that. First up, I am going to use my trusty N17 brush from Nikki LaRose, which is available through BK Beauty. And I believe that the dark side of the brush is powder. I always have to think about this. I do love this brush. Okay, so I've just got some of that there, and I tapped a little bit on the back of my hand to evenly distribute that product on the brush. And I am just gonna tap some of this along the cheeks here. I mean, when you are really fair-skinned, bronzy means something different, right? Still have to look natural, but I'm gonna warm up my complexion a little bit. I love this particular Mothership, guys. I just have to say, while I'm applying these other products, I feel like I could spend like multiple videos creating different looks, and maybe that's why this particular Mothership was so successful commercially, I believe, like in Sephora and things like that, because it really just has so many different options in terms of creating looks, and the shades aren't as intimidating, I'll say, as maybe the shadows in the first couple of Motherships, but it is a great palette. I love it. Okay, so we are bronzed up by my standards, and now we are going to apply some blush. This is a Saie blush. I love Saie blushes, and this is really sort of a hybrid product, a blush and a highlighter. I have this in Mauve Glow, which I don't think it looks terribly mauvey. You can kind of see what that looks like and how it does have the shimmer in there. And now I have to wipe that off because otherwise I will end up with this all over the place. I am now going to grab my BK Beauty 109, which is a great brush for applying cream and liquid products. I'm going to tap into that. And I'm going to tap off on the back of my hand. Start applying this here towards the front. So it was because of that sort of shimmer aspect of this product that I picked it for today. And also because I feel like it comes off a little bronzy for my complexion. So maybe falling sort of into the bronzer category, if you will. And I'm adding more because that's what I do. Can always tone down around the edges and refine with a little bit more powder if need be. So I'm just going to kind of brush with my powder brush kind of around the edges. That is how we are looking now. And now let's do lipstick. I am going to use the Wherever Walnut Lip Liner to line these lips. Color in a little bit. Oops. To just apply a gloss on top of this, and I was gonna swatch two of these little mini Lawless Forget the Filler plumping glosses to figure out which one I wanted to use today. And I will add the shade names to the screen. We've got these two options here. Obviously this is brighter, more pigmented, but I feel like my lips already have a good amount of pigment, and so I'm gonna pick this one here because I don't need as much base color, and this one, if you can tell, has a little bit of shimmer in it. I think that's a warmer lip combo than I would traditionally wear, but I feel like that is what is right for this particular look. So here is the final look using Mothership 5 and some other sort of bronzy glowy products. I hope you have enjoyed today's video and our continuing love affair with special shades from Pat McGrath Labs. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you next time. Bye.